Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Hello, my name is Chris Sweeney. I am the host of Homo Sapiens, and welcome to our Stonewall charity fundraiser. We've got a brilliant evening in store for you. I'm beaming to you live from Australia, actually. So it's what 5:30 a.m. here. We have got so many exciting prizes to give away to you all because we've got a raffle. We are going to be giving away tonight a cameo video from Alan Cumming. We are going to be giving away a personalised bedtime story from Daniel Fox and a one-off celebrity Hun portrait by none other than Joe Lycett, because we're going to be interviewing Daniel Fox, Joe Lycett, Jessie Ware. She's giving us away a signed merch bundle from Jessie Ware merch, conveniently. And all you all have to do is be clicking the links you can see and be donating to unlock the prizes. It's a very exciting evening. Now, first up, I'm going to be talking to Daniel. But before that happens, we're going to play a video. But I'm just going to tell you a few more T's and C's, as they say on Strictly. Here comes the science part. Each raffle prize unlocks when it reaches its donation target. We'll get into that in a moment. For a small donation of £20, you can submit questions for our lovely interviewees. Click on the donate link in Twitch or Tiltify. The raffle is free to enter, and the links to enter the raffle will be shared in the comments section in the channel you're watching throughout the evening. Each prize raffle entry will open when it reaches the minimum target, people. So, if we want to get donating, please do to help Stonewall's beautiful work. And before I bring Daniel into the room, I'm going to play you a video entitled Freedom that is all about Stonewall's beautiful work. So here it is. And that should be...
I'm a human rights lawyer by profession. I've been doing this work for a little bit over 3 decades now. There is an international convention that gives certain rights, and that includes protection of those people who are being persecuted by their governments. And I can't think of a better case than the LGBTQI refugees from Afghanistan. We started to get a lot of requests for help, dozens of them every day through our info service. They were leaving rural areas and coming into the city to be able to hide simply because, they were LGBTQI in a community where that could mean you would be persecuted, punished, subject to the death penalty. They are probably the most vulnerable community that I've ever seen in my many years as a refugee lawyer. There was no one within civil society who was reaching out to support. So I think it was really important for Stonewall to step in. There were some very terrifying moments of listening to some of the people standing outside of the airport in Kabul when it became clear that the gates had closed. They actually got out of Afghanistan and into Pakistan, and then a little bit over a month later they arrived here. It was the best feeling ever. And I had the privilege of meeting them in the day that they arrived. We have a backlog of almost 300 requests for assistance. LGBTQI people are in need of protection. They're deserving of protection. We need to find ways of supporting our siblings.
We're going to get into that. Oh, good. Okay. That'll be fun because then they can post it. So, so hello everybody. We have, I've got waiting in my Zoom waiting room. It's not actually Zoom. I don't know what this is, Twitchify or something. We have got Daniel Fox waiting. So may I introduce the wonderful comedian Daniel Fox, who's going to be joining me from a beautiful green leafy room that Daniel has decorated himself. May I check your pronouns, Daniel? I'm sorry, I haven't asked.
Yes, he, him. Absolutely.
He, him.
Fine.
Welcome, Daniel. I'm hoping Daniel's on the screen now because actually on this little piece of software, I can't tell whether you're on. I'm going to say we're on. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm very well, thank you. We were just discussing. Yeah, my room looks very bare, so I've just gathered every plant I could find around myself. Um, but looking
I
at
love that.
looking where you are, we could be in the same house, I think.
We're actually, I'm going to go like this, and Daniel
Yeah,
will
and
just
that speed.
appear next to me. Uh, is that there's always that thing about people redecorating their backgrounds
Mm.
and for Zoom calls and stuff, but actually pulling in plants is the next level, and I love it.
I loved all the people who got really over the top with green screening in those backgrounds over lockdown. And it
People
started
still
with
do
people,
that.
yeah, but I feel like it started with people putting like just a sort of normal office in the background of themselves. And then
Yes.
by the end, it would be like Sharon from HR, but her background is like Versailles. I don't know if you're there actually. I don't know.
Rio. It's
Yeah.
always sort of like sunny, beautiful places where we're all locked up for 2 years. So, Daniel, let's talk a bit about the. We're raising money for Stonewall tonight.
Yeah.
We're here on business, and let's talk about the prize that people can win if they simply donate. All you've got to do, everybody, you've just got to click links that are here on the screen. And what is the prize that you're giving us?
I am giving away a personalized version of one of my bedtime stories for privileged children, which is a sort of series of sketches I've been doing of basically writing like Ladybird style old fashioned children's books, but for like ghastly, ultra rich oligarchs' children is the angle, and you could have one of your very own if you simply donate to
What?
Stonewall.
So you donate, everybody donate, click the links. Also, you can send in your questions for Daniel, so that can be happening while we're talking.
Mhm.
And this character that you do, so
Mm.
actually, sorry, tracking back. So you're going to send them a video, and this person can have their own personalized video, which presumably they can share to their socials and say they're your best friend now,
Absolutely.
and all of that.
Yeah, and if it's, I mean, send me what name or names you would like to be in it, any little characteristics or something if you want it to be a gift for someone, or if you want it to be for you, just let me know and I will, we can DM, we can follow each other on
That
Instagram
co-
or something. And
does that cost more?
yes.
So so this character that you're going to do the video for, is that how you, that was one of your first sort of characters that blew up? I think I remember you. So I first discovered you because my friend Sarah sent me your um, clipboard persons welcoming people to hell.
Oh yeah, okay, the Welcome to Hell ones. Yeah, I think they're
Yes.
all on a slightly similar vein of the worst side of me that I really enjoy is what I've kind of channeled into all of these characters. Um, but the yeah, so me and my boyfriend moved to northeast London to quite a sort of trendy neighborhood, and we just kept seeing all of these yummy mummies and delicious daddies coming in to the local cafes, having conversations like like how's the barn conversion coming along? Being like, yeah, really good. Be like, is it five bed? No, it's four. Oh my God, cozy. Those people.
Wow. Mm.
And I just channeled one of them into myself and
Oh, really? That's
birthed this.
interesting.
That's who I'm being, I think.
Because it felt so. As a bystander, I was like, God, it's funny because there's a queerness about the characters
Yeah.
that is like, I don't know. I feel like there's a history of us all being. There's a trench spirit of being queer, isn't there? You know, like
Hmm.
welcome to hell. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I wondered if it's that. So it's really interesting to know that it was actually the Yummy Mummies what done it.
Well, I think the Welcome to Hell one is definitely what you just said.
Right.
I think
Okay.
the
Right.
Yummy
Sorry.
Mummies are the bedtime stories. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's
Sorry.
that
Sorry. Sorry.
that feeling of being like, oh God, like this is the shit we've dealt with. So welcome in. Come on in.
We love our dumpster fire. Hey, so we've got questions for you. Barbara's been
Please.
in touch.
Hey,
Daniel,
Barbara.
what shade of dye is your hair?
Well, I could not tell you because I get it done by a lovely lady called Saf. But I would I would go with like Miranda Priestley blonde is sort of what I've asked for. Um,
Uh-huh.
that's
Love
definitely
that.
on the mood board that I brought to her. So maybe that.
So, Barbara, thank you very much for your question. All you have to do is go to your local branch of headmasters, walk in and say, "Give me the Miranda Priestley," and we can guarantee that that will get you looking exactly like Daniel. But
That's
thank you so
exactly what
much
you
for
need.
thank you so much for that question. We've got another one. Um, what inspired the supervillain's personal assistant from Hannah? Thank you for that question, Hannah.
I was watching um, a James Bond film. I think it was Spectre, maybe. It was one of. There's a moment in it where he's being led through this trap of like the old burnt out MI5 building, and the villain has to follow this. James is like following this red ribbon through this
Hmm.
burnt out building, and then all these um, kind of automated things like spin out with the faces of the loved ones he's lost, and then he sort of finds his way to this other bit. And we were watching it, and we're thinking like, who has set all of this up? Because it's very dramatic, but someone has had to be there on like Photoshop and then by the fucking printer, tippity tapping away and being like, oh God, the toner's not working. Oh, did he want what resolution did he want these photos in? And then trying to like sellotape them. There's been emails
Yes,
about the color of ribbon.
I love that.
Um, and that's where he came from. He is the person doing all of that.
But is he also the supervillain's personal assistant? He's also, if I'm right in saying, the cruelest of them all in a way. Is he? He's kind of crueler than the supervillain in a way. I feel like he's like, yeah, we can just cut through that town and mow down those people or whatever.
I think he's definitely numbed to a certain point of being like the things that matter are getting the weapons room in the right shade of pastel green,
Yeah.
and obliterating France is less of an issue.
Yes. And have you got any, when you start doing these videos, obviously at the inception, you're a comedian, you're doing it slightly into the ether. Who have been
Mm.
your sort of most surprising fans who've popped up online?
Darren Brown materialized out of no. I mean, as you would expect Darren Brown to do, just one day was
Yes.
there,
Love that.
which was a real. I loved that. And then well, I can't remember her name, but a Emirati princess keeps sharing my videos, which I'm, great. Uh,
Why not? But
why
how
not?
funny.
Yeah.
So it's Darren Brown stuff. It's the stuff of princesses, everybody. If you want your
Mm,
own, you just have to donate to the links down here. We've got
mm.
another question for you.
Oh, okay.
Rafe has asked a question. Thank you very much, Rafe. Everyone else who wants to ask a question, click links, do the tech side, which I can't see on my screen. What is your favorite white wine, Daniel?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know, I love a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, good.
Sorry,
Good that you
hands
know
up,
that.
I do. Yeah, I love a
Shoot
crisp.
me.
Just shoot me, then. I love a
Yeah.
crisp Sauvy Blee. Um,
Um, okay. And see, so you know things about wine?
Barely. I know a couple of ones that I like. I had a lovely dessert wine the other day, which
Okay.
was Montbeziac. It tasted like a glass of honey. It was very delicious.
See, now everybody he hasn't changed. This, hanging out with Darren Brown, all this super success. He suddenly has got palm trees in the back of his Zoom and,
Yeah, yeah. It's
having
Darren and
pudding
I
wine.
amongst the palms.
Yes. Um, and we've got another question for you that I'm dying to ask you as well. So
Oh,
thank
okay.
you, Laura for messaging in this question. Um, it's puppy related.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
My
so
favorite subject.
Laura's question is, but I want to talk more on this topic. So thank you, Laura. Do you think your new puppy will influence your future work?
Almost without a doubt.
Lovely.
And to be honest, the reason we're in here is because it would be chaos if I was in the main room where he is thundering about right now. Um,
Oh,
but I feel like I can fit him in with every character that I'm doing. Like he's already made an
good.
appearance on my sort of sugar daddy insurance videos. He could definitely be present in hell with me. Absolutely, he could. I think he's going to be the supervillain's dog that I
Oh,
have to look
wicked.
after, who maybe changes into something, or is like a really cute little werewolf. Or I don't know. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I also think that there is a sketch in itself in the mother I have become now that he has arrived, because I've really fallen into like helicopter mum mode,
Yeah.
where my boyfriend is like, "You are training him too much." And I'm like, "No, it's important because these are early days and it's a very formative time." And he's like, "Yes, but
Mhm.
does he need to know it in English and French?" Like, yes, actually.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a Frau Frau, which is a
Hmm.
French bulldog mixed with a Chow Chow. Um,
Uh, and what made you land on that,
well, we
other
were
than being a
looking
gay
at
man?
other. Well, that's entirely. The thing is, Chris, I'm actually gay. We yeah, we Googled gayest dog, and then there he
Gayest
was.
dog. Oh,
Uh,
there we go. That
Frau Frau.
doesn't bark.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, there's something about the fact that Frau Frau sounds like a German person just saying like woman, woman,
Oh,
which I
okay.
also like.
Love it.
But we were looking at French bulldogs, and then we stumbled across this little accidental litter where someone she breeds chow chows, but one of them had got her French bulldog, and they're a bit like healthier because they've got. I think like there's obviously healthy French bulldogs, but there's a lot that aren't. It's a bit of a gamble. Whereas because he's a cross, he's got like a much nicer open nose, and he has a lovely kind of soft like chow chow fur, but in a little French bulldog body.
Oh, and
He's very
how
sweet.
that's very sweet. Now, everybody watching, the bedtime story still has £150 to be unlocked. That has actually gone down even as we were talking puppies. So we're not far off. All you have to do is just donate, click all the links that you can see here, and you get your own bedtime story. Darren Brown wants one. Why don't you? Is my question. Um, so, are you in real life an actual helicopter puppy parent?
I think so. I think I've become like a. I'm describing it as a tarantula mum, just for the sort of chaos
Mm.
energy that I think is involved of like kicking down the door of the cafe and being like, I need a puppuccino for my son. Um, I have gone wild on ordering treats and pet toys and all sorts of
have,
things.
but have you done any training?
Yeah, vast amounts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, he's very good actually. I've only had him 3 weeks, but he can sit down, he can lie down, he can stay. He knows his name. He poops outside. He does more than my
Goodness
boyfriend
me.
does.
Well, speaking of your boyfriend, so one of the fun facts about you, well, I understand, you're dating a professional wrestler.
Yeah, yeah. We're very, very
How
similar.
such similar jobs. How does one meet a professional wrestler of a day?
Other day at Tinder, it turns out I was on a train.
Hmm.
Because he's from Grimsby originally, um,
Hmm.
and the paradise that is Grimsby. And I was on a train coming down from like I don't know if it was Scotland or like Huddersfield. I don't know where I was, but I was coming down. I went past it, and our radiuses must have passed by as we went across
Oh,
the
yes.
country. But yeah, we he he is very different people. He's looks like a Viking, um, and I look like someone's nan. So we've sort of
Well, you
settled
are
into
settled into domestic bliss. How
domestic
wonderful.
lives.
Now, I've
Um,
got a few more questions for you coming in. Esther, everybody, thank you very much for posting your questions. It is brilliant, and keep donating in the links. Now, Esther wants to know one key fact. Are you coming to Berlin?
Esther, I would absolutely love to come to Berlin. Yes, probably. I think I'm doing my Edinburgh show this year in August, so that'll be my kind of debut hour of stand up. And then once it's finished in Edinburgh, definitely taking it around a few places. And if there's an appetite for it in Berlin, I would love to come to Berlin.
Hmm.
Um, so I will post about that.
So does Esther have to start some sort of grassroots campaign? Is that what we're saying? Just so I'm across what Esther needs to do now.
Ideally, Esther, if you could start some sort of petitioning system.
Hmm. It's
Um,
a right to your MP thing, isn't it?
it is
Really?
right to your
It's
MP.
yeah,
Um, yes, if we could get Angela Merkel on it, she's got a bit more time now, I think. So
yeah. Not as much clout though. So Jodie wants to know any future tour dates. I mean, these are dream questions.
you're lovely.
Is
Hi,
Jodie your
everybody.
manager?
Yes, my manager checked in. It's actually just me. If you just hear me
Yeah.
tippy tapping
I can
away.
hear typing.
Someone wanted to know how Daniel gets his skin looking so beautiful and amazing. Um, yes. They're not out just yet, but once, so all of August in Edinburgh, um, I will be there doing that. And then after that, definitely coming to, at the very least, Brighton, Bristol, Manchester, probably Leeds, probably Birmingham, other places,
Hmm.
Southampton, which is my kind of hometown. Um,
Hmm.
so yes, there definitely will be. I will be sharing them relentlessly when that time comes, so you won't miss it. Uh,
Fantastic. So
yeah,
follow Daniel on socials if you want more.
please. Yeah.
Barbara's been in touch, not so much with the question, but I presume Barbara paid for the honour, so I've got to read it out. This man has a lovely posh accent, says
Thank you,
Barbara.
Barbara. That's very
Hmm.
kind. Um, it's fake. Well, it's not, but it's a weird thing. My all of my family are northern. Uh,
Hmm.
my mum, my dad, all my grandparents, everybody's all from North Yorkshire. Uh, but I've just sort of acquired this somehow. Um,
Tom Allen's kind of the same, comedian Tom Allen.
yeah,
Have,
there's quite a
have you ever
few.
have you ever spoken to each other about this?
Not like very, very briefly, I think. I don't know what it, I think
Oh.
it's kind of a queer thing. I think
Mm.
it's a slightly reinvention-y, um, I don't know, or my parents were too encouraging or something, and one too many times of going, you can be anything you want, and I went, well, I should be Oscar Wilde then.
Yeah, watch this.
Yeah, right.
Um, so lovely Herbie has been in touch. Everyone, thank you for all your
Herbie,
questions. Keep them coming. Herbie, hello. Love. So this is the question. Love the work you do. Uh, and great to see you collaborating with my favourite podcast. Herbie, stop it.
oh,
This is a podcast that has massively helped me become confident in who I am. Well, Herbie, that is really lovely to hear. Were there any sorry, you were going to say something.
this is Herbie flirting with us, maybe.
Herbie, stop it.
Herbie, stop it.
Um, were there any people who or things growing up that were your kind of north stars that helped you along the way? Was it a friend or
Yeah, I was absolutely glued to Will and Grace for a good
interesting.
probably 10 years from being like maybe 10 to 20 probably of I just used to watch it over and over again. I'd get to the final episode and just start. I think it was something about this like world of just queer people kind of thriving and having
Hmm.
fun and like finding love that I found very comforting.
Mm.
Um, and then who like Stephen Fry. I used to read a lot of um, like Oscar Wilde. I can remember reading all about him and just being fascinated by him. Tilda Swinton. I don't know if you can tell.
Hmm.
I was a big fan. And then Alan Carr and Tom Allen and people like that really were like my comedy kind of, and Simon Amstel actually. A lot of the kind of queer comedians I really just found fascinating and very comforting.
Mm. And do you feel like it's a different landscape being a queer comedian now? Like, is it a thing? Are there bits of the country you don't want to do gigs in, and are people supportive?
Yeah, it's not that you wouldn't want to do a gig there, but it is notably different. I would say if you're in I don't want to sound like elitist or anything. It's just that sometimes if you're in a big city, it is a bit more metropolitan, and you do feel a bit less like you have to reference it. And I do sometimes find if you're in the middle of the countryside. Like I'm from the middle of the countryside, but if you go to like some gigs are in a pub in the middle of nowhere, and then there is a bit of a you have to address it. You have to have your jokes about it to break the ice.
Interesting.
Otherwise, there is
Interesting.
very much a feeling of there's some a tension, and I think that the tension is a lot of people in a room going, "Does he know that he's gay?" um,
Right. Because
yeah,
I best tell him.
because he does need to
Um,
know. He does.
he does need to know. Good. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I've got another question for you.
Okay.
I've got a few. I've got quite a few actually. Um, Goodness me, Magical Ninja's been in touch.
Oh.
What would you say is your origin story?
Hmm. I think what was it? So the one bit that I kind of joke about is that I was wearing I think I was wearing my classic turtleneck and pearls a couple of years ago and got on a tube with my boyfriend um, and two drunk lads got onto the tube and
Hmm.
I started doing the thing of sort of tucking away the pearl necklace and just being a bit like, oh no, I don't really want this
Mm.
situation. And my boyfriend was with me, who's quite big, and he saw me doing it and he went, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I just don't really want the aggravation of that whole thing
Mm.
happening, so I'm just doing that, the classic." And he just said something really profound where he was like, "No, you don't have to do that because if they said something, I'd break their arms." And I was like, "Oh, lovely! Wow!" And that's when I was like, "Oh, I haven't dated so much as I have hired a henchman." Is what I've done.
I've hired security.
I have found hired muscle. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay. Not advocating anyone breaking anyone's arms, by the way.
oh,
No, Daniel is. So
Stonewall and
now, lucky this isn't live, Daniel. Stonewall is not. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble because you see, I have to stay
yeah,
on after you leave.
yeah.
We've got Joe Lycett coming up. We've got Jessie Ware coming up. You see,
Mm.
everybody.
I'm sure they'll
Thank you
both be
for.
very well behaved.
Well, let's hope so. So, let me ask some of these questions because people are paying cold hard cash to talk to you here.
Okay.
Um, Thank you for that brilliant question and that brilliant answer. Actually, it was very touching. When can we buy your book and who's your agent? Says Susie.
Oh, well, my book.
I mean, this.
Gosh, I've only just found. I mean, there is a book coming. It will probably be 2024, and it will be a collection of bedtime stories. Uh, so looking out for that probably in like autumn next year. But I will be continuing to put them
stock
out and collating them for them.
Stocking filler. Just early
Stocking
ideas for
filler,
stocking
yeah.
fillers 2024.
Anyone giving
Um,
birth to a posh child, perfect.
yeah, absolutely. Now, and Susie is trying to drain her bank account, I think, because she's got another question. I still want you to come to Copenhagen. And I just love Daniel and what he does for us all. These are all
Susie, that's.
Susie. This
Oh, I
is
love
this is the
Susie.
Susie channel. I love
Susie,
Susie.
I'm glad to be on this channel, Susie. Thank you. I do you know what? I went to Copenhagen in December last year. I absolutely loved it. I didn't do a gig, but I would. Um, so I will
Oh,
investigate that.
so you were simply on holiday,
I was simply on holiday, and
and
it was lovely.
that was sort of, were you scoping the place out? Would you say?
I think I was admiring the fact that everybody there wears black and has very similar hair. Everyone's got the Miranda Priestley over there. Um,
Interesting.
but I would definitely do a gig there. I think there are some a couple of nice comedy clubs there, so maybe
Oh, cool.
soon.
Now, we've got to wrap up soon, so let's see if we've got any more questions in the digital
Yeah.
inbox. I want you to tell me all about your grandmother, and what she thinks LGBT, the acronym LGBTQ means.
Yeah. So we met my grandma went to Pride by accident
Hmm.
a couple of years ago actually, and she thought that the acronym was she was telling us about it and she was like it's lesbian and then it's gay and then it's black and we're like No. Nice idea. Like I think like, supportive is the vibe. Intersectional queen, like doing her best, but not quite. I think she just went, which groups need more support and just lumped everybody in together. Um,
Hmm.
T for trans, she got no problem. Q, she went for Quorn, which is not right.
No, although
Not wrong.
quite a lot of corn, a bit of a Venn diagram.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I identify as anything, flavorless and smug is that thing. So
I won't hear it. So, everybody, the I'm getting information about the story, the bedtime story from Daniel. It's like I'm doing, on the election night.
yeah. Oh,
We've got £85 to go for this bedtime story. So if you want to unlock it, you've got to click the links. I'm saying they're here. Should
I
we
would bet.
point?
I
I'm
bet.
going to say they're here. They're there.
They're either here or they're there.
They're there or they're here. So if you just simply click here and then click there, then you can get this bedtime story. Darren Brown will be jealous.
Mm.
Scan the QR code, it says. See links in the chat. Scan the
Please,
QR code.
it's for Stonewall.
We're raising money for Stonewall,
Come on.
and it's got to be done, everybody. So all I can say is do it. Now, what is next for you, Daniel? What is coming up next?
So, there's a few exciting things in the works. I'm working on a little script for a TV thing, which will be fun, based off of one of my sketches. I don't know if I can say anything more than that. But
Very,
it will be
very coy.
it'll be super.
Hmm.
And I'm what else? Edinburgh show is the big thing. Um,
I know. I
I'm
love that
just
you're planning that now, but I suppose that's normal.
You've got to, yeah. I mean, I did 30 minutes at the Fringe last year of kind of working up some material for it, so it's been a long time in the works.
Is it terrifying?
It is a bit like last year. It was lovely and really fun because it was very relaxed, but this year, I think there's just pressure with because there's sort of debut nominations and people keep an eye on what everyone's doing. It, but I love the Fringe. I find it really fun. Do you go up, Chris?
I've been a million times, and I
Yeah.
adore it.
Are you going this year?
I will try and come this year because I haven't been able to go for a long time,
Mm,
and obviously COVID didn't help. But I used to go every year religiously, and we had
yeah.
so much fun. Uh, but it's an amazing atmosphere. I feel like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. You can just see tons of stuff. Now, before we go, because we've got to go in 2 minutes, and people are donating, people are asking questions.
Let's do some.
Shoot me. Saw Daniel break both my arms. Saw Daniel in London recently. This is Kirsty, who also posted a lovely heart with her comment. Thank you very much for posting this question, Kirsty. Saw Daniel in London recently. He's quite brilliant.
Oh,
I think quite brilliant in the sort of
Victorian
British
way.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonus, bumped into him in the tube lift afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Kirsty. That was lovely. It
Oh.
was lovely to meet you.
And then Anne has donated £50. So thank you, Anne.
And
I've just had that come through. And then I've got another little bit of something. And Barbara's been in touch again.
oh, hey,
Barbara,
Barbara.
you are doing us a solid here. Is that what you say? How, Daniel, do you keep your plants so green?
Chris, that was very mask. Congratulations. And
Ah, yes.
I missed relentlessly. I'm a real mister.
Oh, I thought
Um,
you meant like you miss when you water them. Okay, yeah.
no, no, that's. Oh, I miss. Oh, yeah, my house is just wet.
Yeah.
No, I'm constantly vaporizing around these plants, and I mist every time I have a coffee. I have a water thermometer thing that goes in and tells me
Oh, good Lord.
there's a lot that goes into it, and they still die, to be honest. But I've just picked the healthiest ones to be around me now.
The other side is just all dead plants.
Oh, it's just
Now, everybody, we have got £48 to go for the story. Keep donating. Whoever, then we'll unlock the raffle. That's how it works. That's all I can say. Daniel, we've got to end there. I'm going to say a massive thank you to you. You have been absolutely wonderful. I am going to now tell everybody that you've got to keep donating and you've got to keep asking questions. We've got Joe Lycett coming up in 2 minutes after this little video that we're going to play you. So, Daniel, thank you so much. We're going to say
Chris,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful.
Ah, lovely. Thanks, everyone. Here is this video coming up, and then we'll be back with Joe Lycett.
I'm a mum myself. I've got 2 little boys who are 10 and 8, and my wife and I started our family through adoption. Lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer people, we face a lot of barriers in terms of starting a family. For those of us that go through a fertility treatment route, in some places you might have to pay for up to £25,000 of private treatment. Our IVF campaign was trying to rectify that really long-standing inequality. We did lots of work behind the scenes, so working with Number 10, the Government Equality Office. We also worked with incredible influencers like Whitney and Megan Bacon-Evans, who were bringing a court case about access to IVF. And all of those things together meant that the government stepped forward and equalised access in the Women's Health Strategy. Getting the news was an incredible moment for me. There were people reaching out to us on all of our social channels, older generations saying, I wish this was the case when I was younger generations saying, actually now I'm going to be able to have a family. My cousin contacted me and she was in tears saying, you know, you've done it and me and Adrienne are going to be able to have children now. It was just so emotional for me. We've been able to take a big step forward to a much, much fairer world.
Back. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Sweeney. I am the host of the Homo Sapiens podcast. Welcome to our wonderful Stonewall charity fundraiser. We are raising money for the beautiful work that Stonewall do, and we're giving away prizes. We've got a raffle. We've got links where you can donate. And I am about to introduce someone who needs no introduction. The beautiful, wonderful comedian Joe Lycett is about to be joining me. And may I welcome Joe into the chat, as we call it.
I'm in.
Fell from the skies?
I fell from the skies while I'm on the other side of the world. You're in Brisbane, aren't you?
I'm in Vegas. True story.
What the hell are you doing there?
I'm making a television show for my sins.
Oh, anything we know about or can find out about?
Google, yes. I'm doing a show called an adaptation of Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty, who wrote Big Little Lies.
Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. I liked Big Little Lies. I didn't finish it, but I liked it.
No, who finishes a TV show these days?
No,
you watch the episodes and then you move on.
That's exactly it. You get a bit of a gist of the thing. I did drama and English at university. I got a 2-1, and I got a 2-1 in my last English exam, and I didn't read any of the books, and I got a 2-1. I read the first chapter of each one, and then the Wikipedia page about them to get an idea of style and plot, and got a 2-1. What does that tell you?
It tells me many things, Joe. It tells me how clever you are, because if I had done that, I would have absolutely bombed out and got a 0, because I tried stuff like that at school and it never worked.
Oh, I see. I wasn't fishing for a compliment. I was hoping that you would say something along the lines of Manchester University is a piece of shit. That's what I was hoping you would say.
Well, you know, I come in peace is all I'll say.
Am I allowed to swear on this, by the way? Because I do have a gutter mouth.
I don't think we would have invited you on, quite frankly, if you couldn't.
Yeah, fine.
Because we're well aware of the body of work, I'll say.
Yeah.
Now, let's do some business housekeeping. So because Joe is wonderful, Joe is painting us a prize as we are talking. It is a one-off Hun portrait. Okay, so there we go. Gail Platt is who we are painting. Are you able to... hang on. There's been a change. Oh my God, I feel like I'm at the Oscars 2016. There's a new winner. It's
No.
Gail Platt.
What? I've done loads of Gail Platt. I've been working on Gail Platt.
This is. Can I just say, 3 people are going to get sacked.
But
I'm going to announce the winner.
I actually think she's really good. I think she's
That is
quite
wonderful.
good.
All I will say, Joe, is don't touch it because it's finished. That is chef's kiss complete. So the winner, the person you are now painting, throws canvas over shoulder. Is breaking news? Is Alison Hammond?
Oh well, this is interesting. Luckily, I've got another canvas.
Well, always ready.
Right. Okay. So this is. I love that you're keeping me on my toes. Alison Hammond is a great friend and one of the greatest people alive.
Absolutely.
The problem we will have is that I historically have not been very good at black skin tone.
Okay,
So
well,
what will happen here is I will have a go, but what could happen is me and Alison may not be friends after this podcast.
let's give it. So I wanted to ask you about that actually because Alison is always in your Instagram at the moment, and it's sort of like this beginning.
Shall I use that as a sort of stock?
She looks gorgeous there.
She looks gorgeous. Okay, we'll try that as a.
Wonderful.
I've long wanted to paint Alison, but never quite had the confidence, and I'm not sure I have it now.
Are you going to paint her like one of your French girls?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and it's good because I've sort of been cowardly about. What happened is I've got a friend of mine who asked me to paint his daughter, and she's got a sort of she's mixed race, so she's got a darker skin tone, and she's about 6, and I did 3 paintings of her to try and get it right, and each one looks completely different to the other one. I think I'm not very good at doing children either because they don't have a lot of like lines in their faces or whatever, so there's not a lot of imperfections.
What's that saying? Bad workmen blame their tool. What's that? What is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm blaming the fact that I can't. There's a limited amount of people that I can paint with any sort of recognisability, and it's normally people with a distinctive face and who are not children. Anyway, most of the paintings I did of this 6-year-old girl looked like Barbara Windsor. A mixed race girl that I was painting looked like Barbara Windsor. So we'll see what happens. Hey, it's all for charity. What charity is it? Cancer research? Is it or
It's
it's a proper one, isn't it? Is it? It's not. It's not one of these. Not one of these sort of faddy ones for the gays or anything, is it?
It's one of those lovely no win no fee charities. Do you know them?
Yes.
Where they call up, have you had a car accident? It's for Stonewall and the beautiful work they do, particularly around.
Oh,
you asked,
God! The wokerati have captured me again.
They captured you in your art studio.
Oh, God! Okay, here we go.
So we're getting going on an Alison Hammond painting. If you keep donating, everyone who's watching, you will unlock the raffle prize, and you can enter the raffle to win Joe's painting. And we've also got people writing in to ask you questions, Joe.
Not the God. It's probably members of the public, is it? Ugh.
It's members of the public.
The muggles, as I call them.
The muggles. The people. So Barbara says that she aspires to be Gail Platt.
Well, I aspire to paint her, but apparently the public have spoken.
Well, then, hang on a second. Thank you for that, Barbara. Nikki's had an idea, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Nikki says, do 2 portraits.
Well, I will finish that Gail Platt one because I do think it was getting somewhere.
I think you captured her.
When else has Gail Platt been a warm-up for Alison Hammond? That's all I can say.
Quite right. And that's in the right order to my mind.
Yes,
now,
I'd say so, yeah.
Herbie's got a question for you. Thank you, Herbie. Thank you, everyone who's writing.
Herbie.
Herbie.
Hello.
Hello, Herbie.
The concept of herpes has a question.
Yes. You'd never, if I gave you 1,000 guesses, you would never guess that this is what herpes would ask you if it was herpes. It's not, it's Herbie. Which is cooler, The Sun Voyager in Reykjavik or the Concrete Cows in Milton Keynes?
Well, Milton Keynes is quite a place, isn't it? Uh, they have a lot of roundabouts in Milton Keynes. That's one thing I know about them. I would say Milton Keynes because they need the praise in a way that Reykjavik really does not. So I'm handing it over to Reykjavik there.
Okay,
To Milton Keynes, sorry, Milton Keynes.
breaking news, Milton Keynes has dipped for the finish and won. Speaking of dipping for the finish, £245 until the portrait is unlocked. I'm going to throw it out there that there's 2 portraits to be unlocked, maybe, Joe, if Joe's being nice. So what was I going to ask you? What is it that painting brings to you, Joe?
I find it very, very soothing to paint. I find it very relaxing, and I don't like to be disturbed or have to speak to anyone while I'm painting. I find it very disruptive. It ruins my mood, my day, and I find it just so good for anxiety. Very good for a sense of well-being. We're getting. I'll just show you where we're getting to. That's so. That's
Oh, good. Oh, good Lord. It's so beautiful to see it come to life.
that's where we're at thus far. Do you paint, Chris?
Yeah, I do. It was I always painted as a kid, and it was like the art room was my little oasis away from all those mean bullies.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it again over lockdown. I actually started doing pottery a lot, and that sort of lovely meditation vibe is so wonderful, isn't it?
I just got a kiln actually, like a little plug-in kiln, and I've been finding that really, really fun to use. Really, yeah.
What size is it?
Oh, it's like the size of a washing machine, I'd say, like the drum of a washing machine. It's not big, but you could get sort of not quite the height of a bottle of wine in there, and I would say the width of the length of a fox.
Not quite the height of a bottle of wine and the length of a fox for the
Yes.
for the mathematicians among us.
Yes.
So you can't warm your wine up in there, which is a shame.
No, you can't. But it's I found it really. Oh, in fact, I made this in there. This is the Liz Truss commemorative plate,
Wonderful.
celebrating
What do you say?
our greatest 1.5 months.
Now, and so what will be the life of this plate? Where does that go? Who is it for sale?
No. It's I have submitted it to the Royal Academy Summer Exhibition, so we'll see if they like that. Because historically, they've only liked one of my things before, so unlikely it will make it in there. But otherwise, it will just sort of remain somewhere in my house. I'll probably give it away when I need to sell something to buy all the drugs that I take.
And do you ever use air dry clay?
Yes, so that's what I sort of trained with, I suppose. I used a lot of air dry clay back in the day, and so I don't know what I'm doing with ceramics really. I just sort of just having a play and having using YouTube to work it out, but I really love it. I'm really getting into it. I think it's really it's so lovely. It feels ancient, to be making something out of clay and yeah.
Yeah, it's very soothing for the soul, and I think there's a sort of David Shrigley quality to the things that you've been producing, which I love.
He that's very nice of you. He's a great inspiration of mine, and he
really?
liked one of my things recently, and I was so touched by that. I thought, oh gosh, Shrigley's watching my things.
That's
Maybe he's
amazing.
thinking, oh God, like keeping an eye on his copyright. I don't know.
Yes, maybe that's how he lets you know the lawyers are on their way.
Yes, that
I've
could be
seen
it.
that.
I could have
I've
been very
seen that.
could have been very excited by what is essentially a precursor to an expensive legal battle.
But do you know what, Joe? Anyone with half a brain is not going to take you on with a legal battle, because they know that they'll end up as the meat and veg of a live tour. You'll end up in the Daily Mail, because there'll be an entire stunt revolving around some letter exchange, wouldn't you say?
I'll remind you of that when I'm behind bars. Um,
I thought it was just for a live show. Turns out he's actually behind bars.
yeah.
Joe Lycett, I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
Now, the first one is from, thank you everyone, keep sending in your questions, keep donating to unlock the prize. A little update is we've only got £190 until the portrait is unlocked, no less. If you, Joe Lycett, could pick a new animal for Birmingham instead of the bull and make a new statue, perhaps in your kiln, would need to be a bit bigger, what would it be from Tangerine Badger?
Well, I'm a great fan of the sloth, and I think there's something about the way that Birmingham behaves, the way that the Brummies like to live their lives. That's quite sloth-like, I would say. There's we're not in a rush. We're not talking very quickly. We're just like, that's all right. Just gonna go to the pub now. So I think the sloth is probably closest out of all the creatures in God's kingdom, if you are religious in any way, that is closest, I would say. But I also love a walrus, but that's just for me, really. That's just my personal tastes.
And colorway. What are we thinking? Colorway. Are we thinking psychedelic, or would it be true to life? Or
well, yeah, the sloth's quite grey, isn't it? You want. Well, actually, that is bang on Birmingham. A grey sloth, I think, is probably closer. The bull, I never really understood the bull. I don't think we ever had bull fights. I may be wrong there. I don't really know where that came from. Happy to be educated by whoever.
If only we had people watching who could text in answers.
No one's watching this, surely. Surely no one would be watching this.
Oh, they are. They're gripped, Joe. And what size would this statue be? Is this a big monument? Is it a polite size monument?
It would be funny if it was massive, wouldn't it? A massive sloth.
Like the Angel of the North.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
But
we need to. I don't know what it's hanging from because they've got those long claws. It's sort of hanging from the rotunda, just like that, just like asleep.
That's great.
Be lovely, wouldn't it?
With a little waterfall coming down it, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas around here.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yes.
But it needs a bit of. I mean, my family are all from Birmingham and Coventry, and they're very funny. The people of Birmingham are very funny.
Well,
how can we reflect that?
What, in the statue?
Yes, in the statue.
Gosh, you're asking a lot of one piece of art, aren't you?
Yes. Well, it's like these are monuments.
How can the statue be funny? It's shitting itself. So it's
see. That's all I needed.
It's a sad sloth, a grey sad sloth hanging from the rotunda, shitting itself.
Wonderful.
And I suppose now you want it to do something else as well. And how will it move?
No.
Oh, you're done now?
As town planner, I feel like I've got everything that I need. Thank you, Joe. I'm just going to talk to planning, and we'll see if we can get this through. And the conservation officer obviously will have a few thoughts.
Yeah.
Joe, tell us about your exciting new Channel 4 show, which is very LGBT focused, would you say?
Yes, it is quite LGBT focused, because that's the only way you can get anything commissioned these days. Only way you can get it across the line.
World's gone mad.
Yes, so it's something I've been sort of not pitching, because once I pitched it, they were very nice about it. It was something I've been thinking about for a long time. Is how fun, like the old days of live television were, and how. Sorry, I'm just. It's getting there.
It's wonderful, Joe. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, that's lovely.
Dear. Yes. She'll be. As I say, she'll be very happy with this. The live telly of old, and I'm talking your Tier 5 Fridays, your big breakfasts, your OG Davina hosting Big Brother, all that really exciting, like, unmissable stuff. And obviously these days, all the young people are locked to their iPads on TikTok, but
Yes.
or Twitch, which I believe we're on now. Which I think
We
it might
are.
be my Twitch debut. I don't think I've ever been on a Twitch before.
Goodness me.
Sort of strange name, isn't it, for an app, Twitch?
Yes, they're running out of short names that sound like a thing.
Yes. Good luck to them, though. Good luck to them.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I sort of pitched it to them a while ago. We actually were meant to do a pilot of it over Christmas 2 years ago, and it fell in the gutter because of COVID. We actually were a week away from going live, and it was all over because of COVID. We lost. It was when there was a sort of spate of COVID positive tests. Everyone was testing positive, and we lost our like our sound person, and they said, "Oh, we can find another sound person." I was like, "We will continue with the show." And they said, "Oh, we've just lost our director." I was like, "Okay, we'll continue with the show." And we just lost lighting. The show will go on. The auto cue's now gone. The show will go on. And in the end, I just went, "Do you know what? The show's not going to go on, is it?"
Yes. But what about the glitter cannon? It's still working.
Yes,
We can go on.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you to the Channel 4 insurance companies that paid out heavily for that. And we're back, and we're hopefully not going to be interrupted by any sort of global pandemic, and we'll be live in, I can't say when, but not too distant future. Worryingly close for me because I've got so much to do for it. But yeah, I hope to sort of recreate the anarchy of it, but to bring it up to speed with kind of the modern life. I think the culture of those shows was quite laddie back in the day. I think the actual the backstage culture was quite uncomfortable for a lot of people. We don't want that to be the case. We want people to have a nice time, both on and off camera, and we're going to be pushing for a lot of inclusion of all different types. Obviously there'll be a few LGBT people to get the money across the line, and then there'll be lots of Brummies there. There'll be lots of people from all around the country, lots of celebrity guests. But yes, it's the idea is it's a bit of fun, and where my other shows, my Got Your Back shows where I take on David Beckham and things like that, they're sort of against something, they're against a bad company or someone doing bad practices. This is very much for something. It'll be for fun, for inclusion, for laughter and love.
And it's a wonderful idea, and it also just brings you closer to becoming Esther Ransom, which I've always felt has been had a long tail, but definitely been your destiny.
I went to the theatre once, and she was sat behind me, and she gave me quite the scowl. So I'm not sure she's keen on me taking over that mantle, but I think she was just probably in a bit of a huff. But I took it personally, and here we are.
So, well, that's because she knew you were coming for her entire, her entire career.
Identity, yeah. It's essentially identity theft, isn't it, what I've done?
Yes. I've got a question for you. Everybody, keep writing in your questions. There's links and comments. Keep donating. I've got some very good news for you that we have just passed the £1,000 mark with donations.
That's amazing.
Which is absolutely brilliant.
Isn't it amazing how generous people are? We're in a cost of living crisis. Everyone's struggling, and yet still people can dig into their pockets and donate to the gays.
Yeah, absolutely. Barbara says, what is Joe's favourite wine?
Ooh, Barbara, you are getting your money's worth tonight. I love a Gavi de Gavi. This is a fabulous wine that is both a grape and a region. And I went to the region of Gavi. A friend of mine was getting married and wanted to drink Gavi, as you should, at his wedding. And he asked me to accompany him. And I said, oh no, I couldn't possibly put myself through that hell. And yet found a gap in my diary to do it. And what a delicious drink that is. What a delicious place it is. It's in Tuscany, rolling hills of vineyards and really, yeah, I absolutely loved it. And yeah, it's my favourite. I also like a pick pool. I'm very fond of. I'm drinking quite a lot of red at the minute, actually. So I'm enjoying some reds.
Is that because of winter?
Yeah, it's quite a wintry drink, isn't it? Yeah. Whereas when the sun comes out. So my friend who got married in Italy, who I went to Gabby with, if it's sunny at any point, he or I will text one another and say, "It's Gabby weather, isn't it?" And then suddenly we'll find ourselves in a local wine bar, gorging on the stuff until we vomit in the gutter and start tickling each other on the crotch. And
I can sort of see that sort of Batman style, and like the beam of light would go out to the clouds with the bat thing, but that's just a Gavi symbol.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yes, Gavi. Well, the bat symbol in that instance is the entire sun. How interesting. I don't know whether this is because it's been photoshopped. No, I think that's so. This is one of the things I love about painting. So I think you and I have quite pronounced, and I don't know what they're called. These things, this thing here.
Oh yes.
What's that called?
Oh, I don't know. Can anyone write in and tell us what this thing here is called?
Alison Hammond doesn't have one. She's just got lovely smooth.
Is that because she's smiling and it disappears a bit though?
Oh. Do I have one now? Is that gone? It's gone.
Gone.
Maybe she has one when she's not smiling. The thing is, she's always smiling. Let's see if there's a picture of her not smiling.
What is Alison, now that you're friends with her, what does Alison Hammond look like what is Alison Hammond angry? That's what I want to know.
When is she angry?
As in, because she's the most smiley, wonderful person.
Yeah. Do you know what? She's
pissed off.
She's got a firm sense of justice, I would say. I don't think she doesn't take fools gladly, and I think she responds, and maybe it's a Brummy thing. She responds as I do to things like feeling like you've been wronged, and that's just to have a laugh about it, really. And she said to me when she got the gig on This Morning that the ITV audience, which is usually so thoughtful and nuanced in its approach to change, was really very cross about Alison Hammond being the new host.
You're kidding me.
As were Ruth and Eamon, very famously. Have you seen the video when Ruth and Eamon talk about how they're not going to be on Fridays anymore? It's delicious. It is
really
so good.
Is it like being told by your parents to apologise to someone? It's
a little bit that vibe, yeah. They're a bit like, we've loved it, and we will see you on television again. There's change, and change is good. All this stuff. It's great. They're absolutely fuming.
As removal men are taking things from around them.
Yeah, so the level of abuse that Alison has had to put up with, and has just got on with it, just smiled away through it, and been so funny and charming and talented, and she is the pride of Birmingham, and I'm so proud of her, and I just think, it's an honour to know her and be friends with her. I just think she's so good.
That's lovely. Joe, we've got an answer for our question. What is this piece of your face called? It's called Jodie Ann Talesbeth. Thank you both for writing in. It's called a philtrum or a cupid's bow.
Oh, okay. I had a quick Google, but I was running out of time. I had a quick Google and I couldn't see any picture with her with one, but that's because I couldn't see any picture of her not smiling.
Alison Hammond philtrum. That's what you want to be Googling. We've got £140 until the portrait is unlocked, people, and let's have a little progress look at where you've got to, Joe. Let's tempt people to part with their cash. Oh, good Lord. You do capture the spirit of people. You really do. What a talent. What a talent.
I think she's going to be delighted with this. I was so gushing and earnest about her just then, just to kind of as an antidote to what I'm doing to her right now. She's so
You've got a friendship.
beautiful. Yeah, and God.
You've got
Go
a
on,
friendship
go
to keep
on.
intact. So, someone was asking, is that a self-portrait behind you? Is this a strange MC Escher moment?
No, it's not a self-portrait. It's a portrait by an artist friend of mine called Dion Kitson, who is really clever. He's done some really funny stuff. He's made some jewellery, some of which I've worn in the past. There's one that's a ring that looks like a monster munch, which is really cool, but made out of gold. And he's done a scarf, which you can buy now, which I think he over-ordered, so he's got them to sell. And it's a scarf that looks like a cigarette, so it's a cigarette scarf, and it comes in a box that looks like a cigarette box, and it's got the little sleeve, like the kind of little bit of silver foil, so you unfold the foil like you do on a packet of cigarettes and pull your scarf out. He's so clever and talented, and he's from Dudley. He's from Dudley, and he painted that. So we had a painting session, and he painted me painting, and I can't remember what I was painting. But this on his painting there is that's a little Durex packet for a condom, which was not on the table at the time. He added that. That is the artist's edition. I had nothing to do with a condom.
Creative license.
I don't use them. They disgust me.
What is his name again?
Dion Kitson. DionKitson.
SON, wonderful. So go look him up, people. Now, another question for you here. What happened to all of the plants from your stage show, says Silver Defender?
That's a great question. Some of them found their way into my garden, but some of them most of them found their way to a place called Thrive, which is in King's Heath or Queen's Heath, if you know it, which is my local area of Birmingham. And it is a charity that helps people. I think it predominantly helps sort of aging people things like Parkinson's, that kind of thing, and helps them with their symptoms through gardening. And so they've got this huge patch of land in one of the parks, and they sort of teach gardening, and they have little patches of whatever. And so we donated it there, and they were really happy to have it, and I was very happy to hand it over because God, there was so much there. So yeah, it was a nice thing to do, and yeah, it was really fun putting a set together. It was one of my favourite parts of doing the tour, actually, was that I got to kind of play with set and make something really visually kind of striking for the audience. And also, you're in an arena. I'd never done arenas before. I felt like, you want to feel like you've, got your value for money. So, yeah, that's what happened to it. That's a good question. Thank you for who sent that in. Silver Fox or something?
Silver Defender.
Silver Defender, gosh.
Silver Defender. And here's a question for you, because so much of what you do has an activism element to it. How do you moderate yourself in your daily life with... Because I suppose you kind of become slightly a spokesperson for what's right and wrong, is what I'm trying to say. And how do you approach situations where... Because you can't solve everything.
No.
Or maybe you can. But how do you sort of work out what to take on and what to not, if that makes any sense?
A team, and this is not even me being facetious, a team of very well versed lawyers who kind of know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, and they basically I have a team of producers that work on my Got Your Back show, and they go through all the stories, and they go, we could do this, we could do that, whatever, and I basically rest heavily on them. So I don't make any decisions unless they've kind of gone through everything, vetoed stories that they go, oh, that's not going to work, that's that's we'll never get a result from that, and we only ever try and do stuff that we think we can get some sort of change or result or raise some sort of awareness. So that's generally the approach, because otherwise I get really wound up about stuff, and I get really, I want to change all sorts of things. But you do have to kind of, at some point, you have to make a decision about what your resources are useful for, what your audience will respond to, what you think what you think you can talk about confidently as well, because you have to do press about it and talk about it afterwards, and you have to be able to say, well, you have to know your stuff essentially. You've got to know what the companies have done. Because if you say a wrong thing, they can go for you after that. So it's about being like watertight legally, having a really good journalistic case for doing it. So you're not just going like, this person seems to be acting like a dickhead, we'll have them. It's properly thought out and worked out. And then if we've done all of that and the person or the company still seems like the sort of person that needs to change their ways, then I'm all for it. I'm in. I'm very happy to do that show and to do those sorts of stories. But it is hard work. It's really, and I do think it's a slightly potentially put myself in an impossible position, because I am also a fallible creature. I make mistakes.
I won't hear it.
There are prostitutes dead all over the place, Chris, as a result of my actions. And
well, if you keep drinking all that Gavi, for God's sake,
I know, you just don't know what you've done, do you? And I think the minute you start pissing certain people off, the government, they want to get you, and so
really?
they will probably be looking for. I mean, I shouldn't over egg myself. Really, they probably don't give a shit about me, but in my head, I feel like, oh, the knives are out. The pat's done.
There's a poster of Joe Lycett in number 10.
Yeah.
Where find this man?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, we've got £140 until the portrait is unlocked, and let's have a look at the portrait there, Joe. Let's tempt him. Let's bring him in.
Do you know what? This is the best black skin I've ever done. It's and it look and she looks black, which is a start, because normally I'm not.
It's been a challenge before.
It's been a challenge, yeah, so I'm really happy with how that's coming together, actually. How much longer have I got? I've only got 5 minutes to do it.
Well, exactly. Well, no, you can finish it off. Whatever respects your process, Joe.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
We've got a question from Kylie. Jenna or Minogue, not sure. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you, everybody, for writing in your questions. Joe, I'm about to refurbish my bathroom. Any advice on how to approach a local celebrity to open it? What would it be called?
What would be called? The bathroom?
I see.
Yes.
The Joe Lycett wing or whatever.
Yes. I think that's in relation to my opening my kitchen extension by the mayor.
That was
I think that's what they're alluding to there.
I remember it well.
I think you have to start with high ambition. I thought that the Lord Mayor of Birmingham, might be interested in my opening my kitchen. So I emailed her, and she said no. She said she wasn't interested, which is probably sensible. But I managed to persuade her round using, as we are this evening, charity. And I said, we could sell tickets and raise money for charity, and that's what we did ultimately. And then it was one of the most magical days of my life, I would say. It was when anything like that happens, and I feel like I pulled something off that's ridiculous. I I'm a very happy boy, I get very excited. The world seems so full of possibility and wonder and excitement, and So I would say start with a bit of ambition, and then don't contact me, basically, because I won't do it.
Speaking of ambition, Gareth's been in touch. Thank you for your question, Gareth. Joe, can you paint with your feet?
Oh, I'm sure I could have a go at it. I will not be attempting it this evening, but I'm quite dexterous. I've got long toenails. Gosh, look, toenails, toes. I've got long toenails as well, but not
Get nail scissors for that.
remarkably. Yes, yes. No, my toes are like fingers. I've inherited them from my mother,
Ooh.
and I've got really long. They've got fingers. I can play the piano with them. I can.
Whoa! I was
can
going to
make
say
it-
rock climbing.
Can make a lasagna with them. All sorts of
Chop
things
the
I can
veg,
do.
mince the
Yeah.
beef. Jodie wants to know, how's the garden, Joe? Favourite plant?
Favorite plant is probably the clematis. It's such a friend of mine. It's done so well in previous years, and there's so many
Evergreen or-
varieties. No, it's not an evergreen. It sort of dies back, and you have to prune it. And it's pruning season coming up, and I'm a little nervous about that because you can F it right up. But I've got a lot of clematis that sort of pretend that they're dead, and they kind of really what's the word? They're real divas, and then suddenly they're fine, and they just emerge from the ashes and come back. So yeah, clematis are a great friend. I also love, at the minute, I've got like bulbs popping through. So tulips are so brilliant. Here's the top tip. I know we've had a bit of rain in London, and if you're doing tulips, there's not been a lot of rainfall. I've stolen this from Arthur Parkinson, who posted this the other day, and I wasn't aware of it. But your tulips need watering. You might think, particularly if they're in pots, they don't need watering. They do. Get some water on them. They're very, very thirsty. If you imagine when you put tulips in a vase, they like water then, they like water now. And if we haven't had rainfall, get some water in there.
Got
Get
it.
some water in
Interesting.
there.
Ready for spring. Now, everybody, please remember to keep donating to unlock those prizes. We still got a little bit to go until Joe's portrait is unlocked. It can't sit in Joe's house gathering dust. Well, Alison will have it off you, actually. We've got Jessie Ware lurking behind the scenes.
Oh, what does she want?
Well, she wants a right old chat. So get your questions ready and keep donating to open the raffle entries, people. Thank you to everyone who's donated. Thank you to everyone who has sent in your questions. I've got another question for you, Joe.
Yes, great.
It's one that's on everybody's lips. Keza has been in touch. When are you starting your own painting channel?
Oh, that's interesting. I had thought about doing paintings on the gram. So who knows? The thing is that I do like painting normally as a sort of solitary act. I enjoy doing it for my own,
different.
chilled time. So, but you never know, and it could become, something that people enjoy watching. So, yeah, I'm so happy with how this is coming together.
That is just wonderful. It's
I am
beautiful.
actually really happy with it. I don't think it will look better when I photographed it. It's not looking so great on
that
on
looks
this
great.
camera, but it looks
Lovely
like her.
detail. It
It
really
looks
does.
like her.
Yeah. A couple of quickfire questions for you. Anna says, who is your favourite comedian, Joe?
Well, do you know what I really love? Lovely Daniel Fox, who you had on earlier,
Oh,
Who,
that's so funny.
who is very, very, very talented, very funny young man. This is the thing. People have asked me this over the years, and I truly can't answer it because there are so many comedians that I love and respect, and who are just so talented. And do you know who I gigged with the other night? Who I used to gig with loads when we were younger. We would be on bills all the time, and both of our lives have gone off, in different directions, sort of. Is Ian Sterling, who
It's
is
so funny.
the voice of Love Island to the ITV audience, but to more cultured people, he is a very, very good stand-up. Like one of the best I've worked with, actually. And I say that really truthfully. He's really, really funny, and I think he's got a stand-up special out. I really loved working with him recently. I love Aisling B. I love Catherine Ryan. Lou Sanders makes me piss myself. She's so
What I'm
good.
looking for from a show.
Yep, she's very, very funny. who have I watched recently? I also like a bit of dark humour. A naughty, saucy joke goes down well with this one. And there's a comic, an American comic called Anthony Jeselnik, who's a very naughty boy, but very, very funny. There, and he's so hot. He's a sexy boy, and he knows it, which is kind of hotter as well. So Anthony Jeselnik's a good one. I think he's American, but he might be Canadian. I might have done him a disservice there.
Okay, we'll look him up. So everybody listen, there's £100 until the portrait is unlocked. We are so close, and this is our time together has come to an end, Joe. So you're going to complete your painting. I know, you have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for not only painting half of a Gail Platt, but a full Alison Hammond.
Yes.
For dessert. So everybody keep donating to unlock these raffle prizes. I'm going to say goodbye to Joe now. I'm going to say thank you to Joe. You have been absolutely wonderful.
How lovely to see. What time is it there?
It's 6:51 a.m.
God, that's a silly thing to do, isn't it? So have you been up since 5 a.m?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Stonewall have got enough. They've got enough.
Well, they do now, thanks to everyone donating, right?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. What a joy it is to see you. Best of luck with the programme. And I've got a question for Jessie Ware, actually.
Please.
Could you ask her if she would be up for doing any sort of video collaboration? Because I love her music and I'd love to make something visual to go with it. And if she'd be up for that,
lovely.
I'd love to help.
Well, I've just had word that she's back from the loo, so I better go talk to her.
Okay, lovely. All right.
Much
Send her my
love.
best. Much
Will
love.
do.
Bye-bye, gays. Bye-bye, gays. Bye-bye.
Everybody, here is a lovely video we're going to watch, and then I'll be back with Jessie.
I moved around a lot as a kid, and no matter where I was, sport was always there for me. I could always kick a ball around and play football. And then as soon as I hit kind of puberty and going to high school, that's when I stopped playing sport. I was really worried that people would think I was a lesbian, and I was really scared of being bullied, and so I just stopped playing football completely and didn't start again until I was in my mid-20s. Rainbow Laces as a campaign, I think, is more than just a pair of laces, right? Seeing that representation that LGBTQ+ people are accepted here, are celebrated here, are welcome here, is huge. If I'd have had a campaign like Rainbow Laces to tell me that it was okay to exist and okay to play football, I really think I would have carried on playing the game that I love. It gets 12 million hits every single year. We've sold over 1 million pairs of laces. 65% of people believe that LGBTQ+ people are welcome in sport, are welcome in the stadiums, are welcome in their teams up and down the country. It shifts in behaviour like that and capturing hearts and minds like that really go to creating a world in which people are free to be their true selves.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris Sweeney. I'm the host of Homo Sapiens, the podcast, and we are raising money for the wonderful Stonewall today. We've got a fundraiser, we've got raffle prizes. We need you to click the links that you can see here. I'm saying they're there, I don't actually know where they are. And you can donate to unlock prizes. The person we are going to be talking to next is one of my favourite people in the world. It is Jessie Ware. May I welcome you into the Zoom room, as I'm calling it, although we're on Twitch. Welcome, Jessie Ware.
Am I in?
You're in. I'm calling it. You're in. This is it.
Hi, Sweens. I like this new hairdo. It's gorge. It's kind of Michelle Visage.
I'm in Australia, and I went to the barbers, and I literally said, the style I wanted is what would take. I said, what can you do in 15 minutes? There was a time. That was the brief. So yeah, I've got my grey thing here. So what do we think?
I love it.
It's also
gorge.
it's 6 a.m. It's the 6 a.m. version. Jessie, thank you for doing this. Everybody, send in your questions for Jessie. I'll read them out. Keep donating to unlock raffle prizes. Jessie, what is the prize? We've got a merch bundle from Jessie. It's going to be signed. Is that right?
Yes, you can have whatever you like, Stonewall.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so
I
it's
I'll give you some tickets. I don't know what I've offered up, but whatever they said, I double it.
okay, great. It's like one of those click and buy videos that they always
Oh
said we'd have in
shit.
the
Okay,
future. So
fine.
anything that Jessie's got behind her, like the sofa, if you want it, you click. You just
Tracy
let us know.
Emin, sure.
Yeah,
Okay, you can
yeah.
have it.
And thank you very much for doing this. Now, what I was thinking we should add, I think we need to add a signed photo of Lenny. Let's actually raise some money, people. You know what I mean?
Put your money where your mouth is. If you want that Lenny signed, I think we should have an advent calendar. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Lenny Advent calendar.
Leopard print
Yeah.
galore.
Everybody, keep donating. Keep donating. You've
How
got
are you
to.
doing? Do you know how much you've raised yet?
We're gonna. Yeah, we have raised. We've hit the £1,000 mark, and I'm gonna ask this the tech piece of software in front of me to update me with where are we at, people. Let's get people an update. Everyone has been. We have raised £1,125, everybody.
That's
So thank you
amazing.
so much
Well
for reaching into those pockets. And if we hit £1,500, Jessie's offered everything. Could we get a meet and greet
Yeah, sure.
with Jessie
Take it.
Ware? There we go.
Absolutely.
Take it. Now, let's grasp the nettle, Jessie. You've been sending the gays wild with this new song, Pearls. What's the matter with you? Some of us are trying to get some work done.
Look, my brother walked in. My brother's living with me at the moment, and I had pearls on. He went, "All right, on brand. All right, mate. Do you have to have them on all the time?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." Yeah, I'm loving it. People are being so lovely. It's really fun, and the video was really fun, and people like it. It's already been getting lip synced. I'm thrilled.
And so lip synced is like people do that on TikTok. Is that the thing? That's what we need these
No,
days.
one of my
Oh,
favorite
like
queens, Bones,
like drag.
yeah, like it happened at the weekend, and I was thrilled.
I think I saw someone doing that on Instagram. What are we trying to unlock with this album, Jessie? Which dark portals of the gay mind, queer mind, are we trying to? What have we got a hotline to?
A hotline to pleasure, flirtation, freedom. I don't know. We're having frivolous fun on this record. It's joyful. It's quite luckily, it's still quite miserable in our lives, isn't it, at the moment? We had the pandemic last time I put a record out, and now we've just got like cost of living crisis. So I seem to put out records which come at really miserable times. And this one's a really joyful record. I love it. It's so fun. I feel like I've been like a bit of a kind of dodgy salesman today. I've been going to like different places and like playing my music to like suits. And
Oh, really?
and really trying to sell it, and actually I'm actually really enjoying it. I usually like kind of 5 albums ago I would have been like apologizing leaving the room, and this time I'm like the hype man like this. So
I
yeah,
love
I'm
it.
thrilled. It's exciting.
You've sort of become Damon Dash, like selling your wares.
Babe,
But
that's so weird because I did a session and Damon Dash once came into it, and he was quite like this.
I always remember Damon Dash being around when I worked at MTV, and he like just whatever room he went into, he handed out business cards. He was like Damon Dash, Dash, Dash. It was Dash was his brand, right?
Yes, it was.
And he was like, yeah, Dash, 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 like
That's
working
amazing.
around the room, and it was
Did you
like,
ever call him?
No, I didn't get a card. I was a mere assistant. I was invisible to the hierarchy of the room, I tell you.
Have you told everyone what you're doing in Australia?
Yes. Yes. So I'm
Working
making a
hard.
TV show. Working hard, making a TV show.
And it's 6 in the
And
morning where you are.
6:59 now, so yeah, coming up to 7. Coming up to 7 a.m. Can you believe? So Joe Lycett, I don't know if you were tuning in earlier. He had a question for you.
Oh yeah.
He wants to do a collab. So if you feel
Does
that yeah, he wants to do some visuals for you. So if
Mummy?
this is Yeah, mummy. Can you imagine mummy at the helm? What genius would be flowing out of those two creative minds meeting?
Just imagine if he just had like he did like my next merch and it was like Lenny, you slag, and
Oh
a
my
bouquet wrapped
God.
in leopard print. I don't know. I kind of think that yeah,
How
maybe
are you
that's my new
having
t-shirt.
the best ideas ever? That's it. That's the merch, isn't it? Joe
Mm.
Lycett. Joe Lycett
Joe
and Lenny is
Lycett.
a combo.
You know what? Forget me and Lenny on Table Manners. Joe Lycett and Mum should have like a TV show. You know, like I mean,
Mm,
he should invite her on the next expedition that he's going on Travel Man.
yes. Oh my God. But I feel like Lenny, the thing about Lenny, co-host of Table Manners podcast with Jessie, for anyone who doesn't know. By the way, can I just say, please keep donating? That would be a good thing
Have
to
we
say.
gone up of people who've left the building? Let's see.
Of
Have we
course
gone
we're
up?
going up. No, no, no. Of course we're going up,
Come on,
Jessie.
dig deep, guys. Come on.
Um, I feel like the thing about Lenny is there's a touch of the enigma about her, and
Really?
that, well, we see her within the confines of Table Manners, but we don't often see her outside. And
No, she's
there's a
trapped in a
touch
box
of
like what's his name in Misery, and I'm Kathy
yes.
Bates. And she's not
You
allowed
got to
out
do
until
your
she's done another season.
Jesse. You got to do a Sue Kathy Bates impression from Misery now.
There's too much swearing in this, Paul. I mean, if I were to go to the shop and say, "Hey, Larry, grab me a bag of those bastard potatoes," was it more
It's
funny when we were 16? I don't know.
no, it's great. And can we have the dirty birdie bit?
You fucking dirty!
See, for more Jessie Ware Misery impressions, keep donating, everybody. The links are here. Send in your questions. We'll get those as well. But yeah, so I feel like Lenny there is a touch of the enigma. I never feel like we know what she's going to do next, and maybe that will be her big debut. I don't know. Her and Joe Lycett doing a TV show together.
She's got her eye on the prize of like, prime time. So we'll see.
You've got. I wanted to ask you about the new series of Table Manners because the little promo video was all about Lenny trumping you on what to wear. Is that true? Are we dealing series? What are we on? Series 15?
Yeah, it's you know what? It's really we are pretty lo-fi with our promotion, as you can see. It is sweet Greek Sophia from The Office who has come on board and understands mother, Elenimu, she calls her,
Oh, I love that.
and she just films. And there was no brief. We were just like, just come and film us shooting the new promo picture. They'll probably be gold. And
Mm,
what happened was Lenny was talking about wearing black and wouldn't wear anything else. And Sophia is obviously brilliant and witty and managed to edit this into a whole like skit, which was not, it was just Lenny being
I
demanding
love.
as she is. And Lenny getting her own way as a 71-year-old woman, she's entitled to be honest. And
Yes.
I'm just her bitch.
So you've created a monster in some respects. I, it's
Yes. But
it's
she's,
quite.
a lucrative monster. So fuck it.
You got to give them what they want. After you came on the podcast last time, we had a lovely chat, and your mother was straight on the phone to me, going, "Chris, I'm not camp," because I called her camp. It's
Darling,
like,
I'm not cap. Yeah, no, she was quite confused. And then I think you broke it down to her and she was like, okay, yeah, figures.
yeah, I had to explain the theory of camp. She also said, "I'm not camp in the campus way." She was like, "Darling, I'm not camp." And I was like, "That is literally the campest thing ever." Breaking news, everybody! The portrait has been unlocked with your wonderful donations. That is amazing news. Well done. So,
Well done.
keep donating to get you some of that Jessie merch. That's all I'll say, and tickets to the new show. So, when are you going on tour? When is
Oh,
that?
I haven't announced it yet.
Oh, okay. So these are.
And it's so annoying when I know when it is, but I'm not allowed to announce it. It's gonna be in autumn sometime. That's an exclusive for you, and I'm not doing that many
Ooh.
dates. And so I know. So you better donate now in case you don't get a ticket.
It's keep donating, everybody. It's not ticket related, but it's just two nice things to do. Go to a Jessie Ware concert and donate
Aren't I
to the
giving
beautiful
some
work of
tickets
Stonewall.
out? Shouldn't I?
Yes,
Should
you
we
are.
do some? Have I put that? Can we put that in a little click and buy box?
Okay, fine. So
That
Jessie
I
Ware
want good
tickets
money
as
for
well.
them. I want good money for Stonewall for that. All right.
Okay. And
Chris is like, okay, Jessie. She obviously doesn't understand how this is working, but cool, Nana. Okay.
yes, Jessie, of course, that'll be fine. And for Jessie Ware's sofa, simply click the link in bio now, and you can get Jessie's sofa. I've got a question that's come through for you from SW. Hello, Jessie. Hello.
Hello, SW.
Love pearls.
It's
And
SW Stonewall because no one's actually done a message.
No, we've had
Oh,
people. I don't know who SW is actually. Is it
Stonewall.
Make yourself known. Love pearls and can't wait
Thank
for the new
you.
album.
Thank you.
What was it like working with Stuart Price? So give us the history of Stuart Price because it's fascinating.
Okay, so Stuart Price is a bit of a don.
Mhm.
Did the incredible Madonna record, Confessions on the Dance Floor, was a dance producer called Jacques Leconte, even though he's Stuart from Reading. And he was kind of making lots of kind of French disco house, and him and Madonna worked together. He's worked with The Killers. He's worked with Kylie Minogue. He's worked with Rina Sawayama on the new record. He's done the record with Romy for her new record. Like, he's amazing. And they said, Stuart Price wants to work with you. And I was like, that ain't going to work. Sorry, don't think it's going to work. He's a big deal and I don't like egos and da-da-da-da. And I'd never met this guy. And so I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have to do one of those really awkward days. And fuck it, it'll be one, we'll have a long lunch and then we can just go home. And we got in and I loved him so much. We wrote 2 songs in the first day. We wrote this one called Lightning that's on the record, and we wrote Free Yourself on the first day.
Wow.
And I adored him. I love working with him. He is unbelievable. He pushes my voice to like limits or no limits. And he is like a really great champion, but he's also just incredibly talented and loves a disco tune.
And he's sort of part of the history of disco in a way, like current history of disco,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's a bit of a pioneer because on Pearls, one of the things I love about it is like you're going, I don't know, you're right up there, right? And he sort of was the person who encouraged you to do that.
Yeah, and he really believed in me. And I think like the whole record is very much about me kind of being more confident and free and in the great words of Lisa Rinna, owning it. And so I feel really great, but it was so funny. It made me laugh so much. So I performed it this week on Radio 2 with an orchestra. It was the first time I'd ever performed Pearls. Now, bear in mind, I haven't done a tour yet. I sung Pearls in the studio once. And then that was the song. And we then produced it and stuff like that. It wasn't like I went there every day for a month and went and got that note. It was like, got that note on the day because I was warmed up and Ray and you cut and paste a few other takes and da-da-da. Like, and I was like, shit, I have to do this song live on. Now, I can sing live. I know that. But with an orchestra, first time singing it, and it's live and I'm terrified. So I sensibly put it down half a key. Half a key. There's nothing. Some bugger in my bloody comments went, oh, I love this whole toned down version of Pearls. It really suits you, Jessie. And I thought, you just fucking spoil it for everybody. Nobody would have known if you hadn't said that. And actually, it was half a tone. But thank you very much. I appreciate that you.
It's so sweet. She did it unplugged.
Oh, so cute.
She's done
Actually,
an
it was a
acoustic
very
version.
sweet. It was a fan, but I was like, why did you just? It's smoke and mirrors, baby. It's smoke and mirrors.
Well, this is it, because what you have in your future now is it's like, if you remember Mariah Carey, Celine Dion had a similar thing, were wheeled round and had to hit that note, right? Whitney had it as well. Like, you became that note that Mariah used to hit. Do you remember? Like it was the thing that
Which,
people wanted.
what on You've Got Me Feeling
Yeah,
Emotions. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that one. Yeah, there we
yeah, I
go.
mean, listen, like I am still proud of the semitone high whatever E I hit.
It's an
Um,
E,
I
Christ.
don't know what it fucking is, but like I'm
It's
really
high up the alphabet. Is all I know.
it's up there. It's in the high alphas, and it's a bugger to sing though. But it was really nice to sing it live and actually kind of do it okay and be like, phew. It's like you got to the next stage of, I don't know, being a diva. I don't know.
Well, I always remember you saying about your first album that you kind of went for the full diva mode so that you'd have an image to show your kids going, this was mum as a pop star. And there was this pull out in Devotion. It was like this
No, the
amazing picture of
audacity.
you. Oh, it was amazing. You looked
Like a
amazing. And
poster.
yeah, but that was sort of like the stuff from our childhood. That's what you got. You got the pull out with the CD, didn't you? And then you kind of went more stripped back and like taking it all off. And then I see the Pearl image and I'm like, okay, we're
Oh,
back
she's
to
back.
3 hours in hair and makeup.
Oh, and some, and wigs, and
I was going to say, is it wigs?
it was a little help from my friends, but there was my hair in there. It was really funny. I saw Michelle Visage today, and I did a podcast, her brilliant podcast, and she just said, "I love it." She gave she was doing rousing speeches about me, and was such an amazing interviewer. And then she said, "And I just want to ask, is that all your hair?" And I went, "Yeah, it is actually today." And she went, "Okay, that's great. How do you get your hair
Wow.
so glossy?" And I just loved it. She's fabulous.
What are your hair care tips? How do you
Oh
get it
my
so
God,
glossy?
really? Is that what we're gonna do? Um,
Yeah.
I um I do very
Your
little
family are
diet.
very science based with hair and stuff like you're very good at that stuff.
You're very sweet, but I've got so much regrowth. It's like just and it like never it's very thick. I'm very lucky. Anyway, back to donations. How are we doing, Chrissy?
Everybody, give us an update. Let's have an update.
What have you had?
£60 to get the Jessie Ware tickets. Not long to go, people. Keep donating, then we
£60.
can
Okay, amazing.
unblock. The links are in the box here. That's what I'm saying. That's could you ask Jessie to push for donations? Jessie, give us let's push for donations together.
Okay.
Come on, everybody. The
God,
more
I
you
feel
donate, the more
the more you
prizes we unlock.
donate, the more you donate, the more high notes I will sing. I will sing that true tone on tour if you donate. No, I'm joking. I won't. I'll always do it half a tone, otherwise I get nodules.
Well,
You're doing such a great thing donating, and I will give
yes.
more if you want more, or I'll just shut up. If you want to donate for me to shut up, I'll bloody shut
Je-
up. You're doing
Jessie's on the
great.
verge of having a car boot sale, basically. Getting everything. We could clear out
Everything
Jessie's
must
house by
go.
the end of this.
Everything must go. You want my
Question
scrunchie?
from
Take it.
King. Take it. Scrunchy, it's yours.
Love
King
Island
Treeball.
flask? Sure.
Oh, where did you get that from? Did they give it to you or did you buy it or
Yeah,
what?
some PR. I don't know.
Jessie. Oh, okay. King Treeball's been in touch. We've got a question for you. Is there
Hello.
any song in particular, Jessie, from that exclamation mark feels good that you are most excited to hear people sing back to you at gigs? Also, Pearls is gorgeous and so wonderful.
You're so wonderful and so gorgeous for saying that. Thank you. I am excited about Pearls because I think we can all feel like kind of pageant girls that are kind of la la la. I wanted to feel like, like Beauty School Dropout.
Oh my God, yes.
Like kind of like you're in a cosmic Beauty School Dropout. I kind of imagine my audience doing a bit of that. And then there's a song called Shake the Bottle, which people haven't heard yet. And it's got a lot of call and response. And I really am going to rely on you in the audience to do some bits. It's really good fun. That's the one that I think is a bit like the naughtier cousin to Ooh La La. If you know my song Ooh La La, it's like
Yes.
naughtier than that.
And there are definitely, cousin feelings between these two albums, right? But there's perhaps a more freedom to this one. Would that be right?
Yeah, it's it's a bit louder, prouder, happier, more colourful, a bit more groove led rather than kind of like dance. But there's a very fun song called Freak Me Now that actually Stuart did with me. And that is like, that I feel like that's my Moose T horny moment. I
Oh
know.
my God. Do you remember that song? It's still on all the time, by
So
the way.
it's a tune. Absolute banger.
Who else were your references for this album if we're talking about that period?
Tom Tom Club, Donna Summer,
Lovely.
B-52s,
Hmm.
Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life, Earth, Wind and Fire, Rotary Connection. Let's see what else is on there. Sade, musical theatre, like Hair the Musical, you know, things like that. Age of Aquarius, that kind of stuff.
It's basically like the inside of your head popped open and just popped into a record, right?
It is really fun though, Chris. Like, I feel like I'm kind of allowed to take the liberties that like when you'd be directing a music video, and you used to do music videos, and you'd be like, and then I can think this can happen, and then that can happen. Like that's the same thing that's going on with me with music, but also visuals and theatre and cinema. It's all happening at the same time, and it's just really, really exciting. Whether or not it will be able to be delivered to you like that, I, I'd love to make visuals for every song, which just is never going to happen. But I do have to say, Theo Adams and Sophie Muller absolutely smacked the visual in the Pearls video, because it was, we got to
So
do a
good.
set. Also, Sophie is the queen of lighting, and
Yes.
Theo brought his girls in with they were amazing dancers, and they all had characters, and it was completely brilliant and fun and a bit macabre. Like it was brilliant. I got to go to the
Yeah.
moon.
It was just very had feelings of classic amazing videos for like Shakespeare's Sister and stuff, and like which
Well,
Sophie Muller
Sophie did.
did.
Yeah, she did
Yeah.
that stuff. So
So Sophie's done so many iconic videos for like people like Lana Del Rey and Gwen Stefani, and like it had that kind of, and basically wherever you look, there's glitter. And so £20, everybody, £20 to get the Jessie Ware tickets. Come on, keep
come
donating.
on, let's fucking do this. Cough up.
Each prize unlocks when we hit the target. So keep donating, everybody. The links are here. It's super simple, and keep sending your questions as well.
You're doing an amazing job, Sweeney.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm hosting the election night.
You're doing
Of
so
like,
good. I feel like they
with,
should get you on Children in Need. They should get you on
yes,
any telephone thing. You're doing amazing.
I love a telethon.
Yeah.
It's sort of I don't know. Yeah, I love. It's one of my first jobs was working on reception. I loved it because I'd pick up the hello Harry Nash, can you hold? Hello Harry Nash, can you hold? I loved it, and I'd be like, can I? I'll just check if Adam's there for you. Yeah, one moment. It's Janet,
Don't
isn't
you
it? I can tell.
find, did you used to do this when I was like a secretary and when I was a receptionist? If so, please, do you mind holding, and you do this with your voice?
Yes, the thinking noise. Yeah. Yeah, I've just got
I'm
word Adam's on
just,
lunch.
yeah.
But do you know what I loved about being on reception is it was because you're on the phone. Your interactions with people are all 25 seconds. You can't fall out with anyone really. So it was just all like hi, and they kind of need something from you. So it was always nice, like they'd be nice to you, and it was sort of, oh, hang on, update. Tickets are open. Tickets are open for the raffle, people. So you've got to enter the raffle. Links are
Oh,
coming in the
amazing.
chat, and then we just need £100 to go for the signed merch. Okay.
Oh,
Reminder:
wow.
each prize unlocks when we hit the target. So keep donating.
Okay, yeah.
Favorite other job of yours in your life, Jessie, other than being an international pop star and podcaster?
Um, I really liked working on the gynae ward as a receptionist. That was fab. I just loved being with the nurses and the healthcare assistants, and just feeling like I don't know, I liked signing people in. I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And what else did I? And also, I think like, what else did I like? I liked working as a court clerk. When I worked at a family
These glasses would be
solicitors.
good for that.
Yeah. I like that. I liked going to court and writing down what everyone said, and it was really fascinating. I didn't like it when I got a temping job. Well, you know, like when you finish like school or uni and you go on a recruitment thing, and I got this temping job where I was essentially security, and they said if if you see this man, I was like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm sorry. I don't need to risk my life in Bishopsgate for this shit. So I was
What?
out.
But where were you doing security?
I
What,
don't
like in a
know.
building?
Some fucking office. You know, and you thought it was going to be like reception work, and then it was like security, and I was like, nah, that's not me. Sorry.
I always remember when I worked in a shop in Putney, my Saturday job, they were like, if you see anyone steal anything, don't approach them. They were like, just let them steal it. And I was like,
Oh.
this unlocks a few things for me. Because they're like, oh, it's
Well,
worse
no.
if you, it's worse if you, whatever the word is, if you approach them and something happened. My worst job was only because it was unexpected. So I got what I was told was a modeling job when I was 19. And in fact, it turns out I turned up and I had to wear a full Ferrari outfit and sell petrol on a petrol station forecourt. So anyone who pulled up, I had to be like, "Hello, have you tried Optimax petrol? Can I interest you in Optimax petrol
And
with
you
like a
thought it
little
was a
Ferrari
modeling
cap
job.
on?"
Oh my
Yeah, they
God,
told me it
that's
was a modeling
amazing.
job,
Oh my God, that's amazing.
and
Well,
I
I
and
did
I had
get
to do it for a week.
fired. I got fired
Oh,
from Tootsie's. Do you remember Tootsie's, the burger joint?
yes, yes.
I didn't get. They said I didn't have the restaurant vibe. I was like, excuse me.
What
I
was that?
fucking. What is the restaurant vibe? I was chatting too much to the customers, I think.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're very service
My vibe
friendly.
is vibey, especially when food is around. I am a vibe.
The irony that then you went on to have a food podcast, they will
Yeah,
be
so screw
regretting
you,
that.
Tootsie manager. Yeah.
Yeah. Question from Alan. Jessie, why have just 10 tracks? I'll be doing my part to make it so successful you'll have to put out a deluxe. Love you so much, says Alan.
Okay, so Alan, let me explain to you. It's 10 tracks. It was going to be 11, but one of the songs just wasn't right for the record and it had to make sense. I promise you, it's all killer, no filler. And I had to make a record that I think like understood that all the songs made sense together, and there was just one that was sticking out like a sore thumb. I thought, you got to go, but it'll probably be on the deluxe. It's still good songs. There were loads of good songs, but I was just like, no, this makes the most amount of sense. So that is why it's 10. And also, I think it's quite satisfying that it's 10. I think that's quite neat and nice. I don't know. I hope you will be pleased, Alan.
Any little pieces of exciting cameo information you can share with us about the album? Any exclusives? Checks
There's
behind.
oh, there's like a lot of voices on a song that you will all be thrilled to hear some of the people on there. That's all I can say.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that because that sounds very interesting, doesn't it, Jessie?
How are we doing? Did we get any more money in the old pot?
Let's have a look. £100 to go, everybody, for the signed "What's Your Pleasure" deluxe
Hold on,
bundle.
you said no, that it was £100 like 10 minutes ago, so no one is donating.
How do you
Come on,
remember this stuff?
because
How
I
do you
remember when
this?
people aren't donating, they're not unlocking bloody prizes. Come on.
People, this is your final raffle prize reminder. The
I'm going
page
to
will
bed in
remain
5 minutes, people.
Great. I've got to go and do a day's work. Final raffle prize reminder. A page will remain open until the end of the month.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
we've raised £1,330. And with this whole raffle is going to remain open till the end of the month. So this is just
Amazing.
the beginning, everybody. Jessie, I've got a question for you from Mexico, Eduardo.
Hi,
Hi, Jessie.
Eduardo. Hola.
Is this new tour going to be worldwide?
Oh, Eduardo, if you were at my Mexico City show, you'd know that that would be my first point of call if I could. It was the most unbelievable show. I'm so intent on coming to Central America, coming to America, South America, Central America. I want to. It's quite tricky at the moment, but I will find a way, I promise.
Tell me what it's like being on tour with Harry Styles.
Nightmare. Um, just so attractive to look at. It's a nightmare. No, it was really wonderful. He was the best boss. People love working for him. He is kind. He's generous. He was so generous about me and my band and his crew and his band on stage. And every night gave me such a big up. Just a real pro, like a proper mensch. Love him.
And what about the catering on something like that? Where are we at?
Really decent, really good. But I was being kind of quite well behaved because I'd be singing. But there was ice cream. This was quite a frustrating thing. When I'd be going to stage, there's this little ice cream booth, and it was like Haagen-Dazs, my fave. All little toppings as well. And she was so sweet, this girl. And I said, I'll see you after the show. And she went, yeah. And they fucking packed up every time after the show. So I never got that ice cream that I really wanted. Nightmares. But no, the catering was good. The people were lovely. We had like the time of our lives. I've never done a sport slot before. It was really fab.
Who better to go in at the biggest superstar in the world? It's
No,
funnily enough, you might get a taste for it. Jessie, you asked for money. We asked for donations. Everybody keep donating. We've only got £50 to go for the signed What's Your Pleasure Deluxe bundle.
That's
So
good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That unlocks
great.
it. Then we got Potterlin says Harry Styles on table manners? Question mark?
I felt like I couldn't take the piss too much by being like, by the way, thank you for letting me support you, but also could you also give me 2 hours of your time with me and my mum? My mum was so ready to fly to Chicago to do the podcast. She was literally like, she was there on standby every day at Heathrow.
Hovering over Skyscanner.
Yeah. I'm sure he will do it. The thing is, Harry doesn't need to do anything. But I know he'd love Lenny's chicken soup, so that would be fantastic if he did.
I was going to say, Harry doesn't need to do anything, but he does need Lenny Ware in his life.
He does.
Have they met?
No, and I think it would be fireworks if they did.
It would, because in a way, you can't have 2 levels of star in one room, can you? It would be like the Vanity Fair party at the Oscars.
Oh no, I think it would be a big old love-in.
Yeah.
I think it would
really
be
would.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Jessie, I've got another question for you. Dream from Jake. Dream collab.
I'd really like to work with Channel Trez. I'd like to work with I'd love to sing with Harry. That would be nice. I'd love to work with Frank Ocean. I love him. Dream collaboration. I mean, yeah, Channel Trez, I think we'd make a really fun dance tune together.
Yes. Any of the old, if you could bring back anybody from the past, all these things you referenced, like anyone you'd collaborate with?
Donna Summer. Do like an Enough
Donna
is Enough,
Summer.
you know.
Stop that.
That would be great. Amy Winehouse, I would just like to hear her sing again and be her backing singer. Yeah, I think I would have a lot of fun. I'd like to be part of B-52s. That would have been fun.
Yes, for the outfits alone and the videos. Breaking news, Jessie, the signed What's Your Pleasure Deluxe bundle is open.
Amazing.
Everybody, so enter the raffle. That's how you win. For clarity, you win the prizes.
Oh, so you've
entering the
donated.
raffle.
So actually nobody's won anything yet. They've just donated, which is an amazing thing to do. Thank you very much. But now
Correct.
you may win lots of things or nothing.
Donating unlocks the raffle.
Okay.
So people need to get entering that raffle. You can win all the Jessie stuff. It's going to remain open until the end of the month, and you can win the Daniel Fox prizes. You can win the Joe Lycett prizes, and that's how it happens, right, Jessie? This is it.
Absolutely.
We have completed our fundraiser. Thank you so
Well done.
much, Jessie. You have been absolutely wonderful. I'm going to say goodbye to you now. And we've got, hang on, one last thing. We've got £100 for an Alan Cumming cameo video as well. So that needs to be unlocked.
That's
but
amazing.
That just leaves me to say thank you very much, Jessie. It has been a delight to see you. And you're going to go to bed now.
Yeah. I'm going to go to bed. I've got a podcast in the morning. I love you. You're doing great, sweetie. Send my love to Alan, and thank you to everybody that's indulged me and Sweeney just having a big old catch up, to be honest.
Having a right old gas. Wonderful.
All right.
Congratulations.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye. Well done, and thank you. Well done, everybody. So, everybody, that is the end of our lovely 3 chats for our Stonewall fundraiser. This has been absolutely wonderful. Just to remind you what the raffle prizes are, we've got a cameo video from Alan Cumming. We've got personalised bedtime story from Daniel Fox. We've got the Hun portrait of Alison Hammond by Joe Lycett. The merch bundle from Jessie Ware. The tickets for Jessie Ware. So all you have to do is click the link and enter the raffle, and that is open till the end of the month. All I have left to say is thank you so much to everybody for donating. This has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, and good night, or good morning from Australia, should I say. Thank you very much, and well done.
At Stonewall, we can imagine a world where LGBTQ+ people everywhere are free to live our lives to the full. And we believe we can build that work, but only with your help. So thank you.